And on the foreign scene, ex-Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin set to be charged for corruption. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has postponed the governorship and State House of Assembly elections earlier scheduled for Saturday, March 11th. In a statement on Wednesday night, INEC National Commissioner for Voter Education, Festus Okoye, said the election will hold on Saturday, March 18th. He said following the ruling by the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal on the reconfiguration of the bimodal voter accreditation system used for the February 25th presidential election, the Commission met to assess its impact on its preparedness for the governorship exercise. According to Okoye, political parties will continue their campaigns until midnight of Thursday, 16th March 2023, 24 hours before the new date for the election. Okoye stated that though the tribunal's ruling will enable INEC to commence the preparation for the BVAS for the governorship in State House of Assembly election, it is too late for the reconfiguration to be concluded. Meanwhile, reactions trailed the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission to postpone the governorship and State House of Assembly elections less than 72 hours to the scheduled polls.
Now you are prepared to go and vote. Why would somebody now postpone it if the person does not have a negative intention? If you have a good intention for Nigerians, you should have allowed them to vote on that day. Why postponing it? There is no need of postponing it. So I see that they are trying to do one or two things which I don't know what they are up to, but let's watch and see. What matters is let's do the right thing, let's vote. We shouldn't relax. We will still come out to vote as we did in presidential election as well.
It's a good move because the election is fraught with a lot of controversies. So in order to resolve those controversies, it is best that things are done normally for the benefit of doubt. Because INEC wanted to reconfigure and the aggrieved parties actually did not want that move because they felt that, or they feel that the election results in the INEC data will be tampered with. So I think for the benefit of doubt, INEC postponing it and giving every party a level ground to douse all doubts is very much in place.
I feel that the INEC are actually not yet ready for the people of Nigeria for the next election. That's the reason for the postponement. But it also has a side effect towards other people, and majorly students that they had shut down their schooling for a very long time. This will affect so many people's plan. And just in general, what we just want as Nigerians is that the elections should go peacefully, and then the BVAS and every other thing that INEC has failed in the presidential, they should try and correct for the next election. They
took a rightful decision in order to, ameliorate and put in place on the issues of presidential election on the BVAS. So they have to give the governorship election time in order not to muddle things together.
The Court of Appeal has granted a request of the Independent National Electoral Commission to allow it to reconfigure the bimodal voter accreditation systems used for the conduct of the 25th February presidential election in preparation for the governorship and State House of Assembly election. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the appellate court, however, refused to set aside its earlier order granting access to the Labour Party to inspect materials used for the election.
The applicant, INEC, has requested the appellate court to grant its relief with a view to allowing it to use the electronic device for the conduct of the Saturday governorship and state assembly elections. INEC has equally sought for leave of the court, setting aside its earlier order given to the Labour Party and the PDP to inspect material used for the presidential election, as this, according to the Commission, will undermine the confidentiality of the election database. In its ruling, the appellate court held the argument of the applicant that configuring the BVAS will not affect the information contained therein, as it will be stored in a back-end server which could not be tampered with. The appellate court, however, dismissed a request by the applicant, asking the court to vary its earlier access order granted to Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The court also held that the initial order was not in any way meant opening the electronic database of INEC, nor does it allow for scanning of used ballot papers. Parties to the dispute speak on the ruling.
To our greatest surprise and advantage, having worked in the last few days, having burnt midnight candle to oppose the application by INEC to vary that order, which we cherish, somehow they withdrew the application by themselves. And it was struck out. The question is, what is the implication? What is the legal implication of that withdrawal and eventual striking out of their motion?
The court was of the view that they are given the back-end server, which INEC undertook to provide to secure those materials, that order is partly sustained. Those initial orders are partly sustained.
Our ICT experts deposed to the affidavit that no, reconfiguring the BVAS machine will not tamper with the data contained this, because we are sending the data to our back-end clouds and server. And there was no counter affidavit or further affidavit to controvert what we say. The court has no option than to accept what we are saying as the position of the law and the true position.
Counsels for the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, told journalists that they will approach INEC to ensure compliance with the Court of Appeal on access order. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And ahead of the governorship and State House of Assembly elections scheduled to hold on Saturday, March 18th, some electorate in Yola have called on the Adamawa State Independent Electoral Commission to strictly adhere to the electoral law while discharging its obligation. They said the call became necessary to avoid what they described as injustice on the part of INEC for allegedly refusing to transmit election results accredited by BVAS during the presidential and National Assembly elections. Silas Lowen has details.
According to them, the performance of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) during the presidential and National Assembly election was not encouraging, other than more need to be done, especially in the areas of respecting the electoral law.
It's to enlighten our people on how to cast their vote, to be able to secure their vote, so that they won't be able to manipulate them, so that they can be able to know how it's being done and all. I believe from the lecture we have today from the program, I believe they've been able to enlighten, they've been able to acquire more knowledge on how to go on the general election for the governorship.
All election nearing programs start from the unit. So at least we call on them, we rely on them, the agents, at least to be very vigilant during the electioneering programs.
Some also believe it is not only the responsibility of the electoral body to ensure free, fair and credible elections, as the citizens also have a role to play.
Election is the process by which voters select candidate of their choice among many candidates through an open, secret ballot.
Faɗakarwan gaskiya ya zo a daidai. We have
to put in our best to protect our right within the ambit of the law. As we all have the right to vote, we also have the same right to protect the votes. Stakeholders are also hopeful that the governorship and State House of Assembly election will be devoid of rancor and acrimony. Silas Lowen, Trust TV News, Yola.
Now, one of the things Nigerians will remember the outgoing Benue State Governor, Samuel Ortom, for is the fact that he made headlines through his outbursts on the farmer-herder crisis in Nigeria and as a member of the G5 PDP governors. As he winds down his second term as governor, Ortom lost his senatorial ambition and failed to win his state for the Labour Party, a political platform he professed before February 25th presidential and National Assembly elections. Now, as Benue residents head to the poll next Saturday, they say the state is one to watch out for in the governorship and State House of Assembly elections. Jimmy Azande reports.
Some residents of the state who rated Governor Ortom poor in terms of infrastructure and staff welfare are watching and waiting for the March 11 to speak through the ballot. They also said following the February 25th defeat, the governor is making frantic efforts to win the governorship seat for his preferred candidate and party.
Has learned his lessons from the presidential and National Assembly's elections. The things that have already been done. One, in the Sankra political axis, we are in three local government areas where there had been a ban on the use of motorcycles and the brand of the motor vehicle popularly known as Dokmiash. That ban was lifted yesterday. So many people have been given employment letters beginning from Monday this week to yesterday. A lot of people have been given employment letters.
But to many eligible voters, it is too late for Governor Ortom to change the wishes of the Benue people who have already made up their minds on who to vote for, irrespective of last-minute campaigns.
The nature of Reverend Father Hyacinthe Omemalia has caused a lot of joy. Should I say joy? Should I say a lot of political miscalculation and calculation, because a lot of people are not even thinking of politics. A lot of people are seeing the aspect of a reverend gentleman like Father Hyacinthe Omemalia coming to cleanse Benue State from the shackles of poverty, underdevelopment, and insecurity. So many things are factored in the candidature of Father Alia, and with the hope that everybody in Benue State is seen and have known that he can do it.
It is left to be seen what comes out of the governorship and state assembly elections in Benue State, vis-a-vis the performance of the governor.
From every indication and all indices on ground, I can tell you the people of Benue State are fully ready to come out en masse on Saturday, the 11th of March. So far, so good. I can't see any issues. I don't see any fracas. All I believe is a peaceful election come 11th.
Despite the cash crunch, many Benue voters say they will exercise their civic responsibility on Saturday to usher in a new administration.
And now to matters of security, where the Katsina State Police Command says it has killed one suspected bandit and arrested another as it repelled an attack on the Jabiri area of Funtua local government area of the state. The spokesman of the command, SP Gambo Isa, disclosed this in a press statement issued on Wednesday. He said the police received a distress call around 1 a.m. on Wednesday that terrorists had attacked a household in Jabiri area. One AK-47 rifle was recovered. He said during the course of investigations, the suspect confessed to the commission of the offense and further confessed to several banditry attacks in Tatari, Abasawa, Majiwa and Bagiri villages, among others, leading to armed robberies and kidnappings. Isa added that the suspect also confessed to having shot and killed two of his victims. He added that investigation into the matter was ongoing.
As you can see, the command in another pit has succeeded in busting a syndicate of terrorist bandits terrorizing the Funtua local government area and its environment. Nemesis cut off with one of the suspects that is here with me, by name Jamilu Ahmed, age 25 years, of Goya village, Funtua local government area. What happened is that yesterday, being Wednesday, being Wednesday, the 8th of March 2023, at about 0100 hours early this morning, a group of terrorist bandits attacked a particular household in Funtua local government area. The DPO Central Police Station Funtua received that distress call and led a team of police men to the area. On arrival, the terrorists engaged them into a fierce gun duel, and as a result of which they retaliated. Alhamdulillah, one of the terrorists was neutralized, and we succeeded in arresting Jamilu Ahmad here that is with us. In fact, he has confessed to so many.
Earlier, we spoke to Trans TV's Abdullahi Ahmadi, who gives us an update on the situation. We'll bring you that subsequently. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Air Force strikes have reportedly killed a pregnant woman and 2 teenagers in Sabangida village of Fatika district in Gyo local government area of the state. The fighter jet was said to have targeted some bandits in a nearby bush who had run into the village. Daily Trust gathered that the incident happened on Sunday around 5 p.m. It was gathered that the deceased were members of the same family and that about 5 other villagers sustained injuries. Community leader Hamisu Kurau confirmed the incident to Daily Trust via telephone. He said the late woman's husband, Bala, and the father of the 2 children, Muntari, are brothers. When contacted, the police public relations officer in the state, DSP Muhammad Jaligi, declined to comment but directed our correspondent to speak with the Air Force authorities. The State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, did not answer calls placed to him and had yet to reply to a text message sent to him on the issue as of the time of filing this report. And at least 2 staff members of the Lagos State government have died and several others injured in a collision between a train and a staff bus on the rail track at Ikeja along Shogule area of the state. The BRT bus, which was conveying staff of the state government to work, wanted to cross the rail line when it was trapped by the moving train. The spokesperson for the National Emergency Management Agency, Ibrahim Fariloye, confirmed the incident. He said 2 bodies of female staff of the state government have been recovered and several injured persons have been evacuated. Fariloye said the state government staff bus was trying to cross the PWD Shogunle rail crossing while the train coming into Lagos from Abeokuta, Ogun State, tramped the bus on its rail.
We can't actually say this is because, but the information received was that Nigerian Railway Corporation staffer, the flag officer, tried to flag down the bus. The land, it was alleged, because we were not there, it was alleged that the man refused to listen and proceeded. Well, the road infrastructure, because one of the major problems of crashes, the road infrastructure approaching the rail is difficult. So we don't know what happened between the road infrastructure and the negligence of the driver or the refusal of the driver to abide by the rule. The rail, based on the impact now, the train was not on high speed. Because if it had been on high speed, it would have, the impact would have been much more.
So with us on Trust TV News Update, still ahead. We'll show you why the price of tomatoes is on the rise. Details of this and more after the break. To stay with us.
The road leading up to the
if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now let's take another look at our top stories. INEC postpones governorship House of Assembly polls. And police kill 1, arrest another in foiled bandit attack in Katsina. Moving on to other news now. The International Women's Day celebrates successes and contributions of women to the societal development across the globe. Now, the day also gives room for reflections on challenges affecting the female gender in various spheres of life. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail examines struggles and successes of a 38-year-old visually impaired lady who defies all odds to become an advocate for women's rights in Gombe State. Take a look.
Yeah. So, the face masks that we are using.
Rebecca Hassan is a 38-year-old visually impaired lady in Gombe Metropolis. She lost vision since she was 13 years old, but despite the vision loss, she studied very hard and graduated from the University of Jos.
The doctor advised us that there is nothing that we can do except they will take me to school. So I started my school in KASES, that is Kaduna Special Education School. Where I went there to learn Braille, reading and writing, because I cannot continue with where I stopped when I was sighted. I have to go back and learn how to read Braille and to learn how to write Braille. That is where I started. I started in Kaduna Special Education Center. So this is where I started, and I proceed to Faith Tabernacle College in Plateau State is where I did my secondary school. Then I moved to University of Jos, that is UJ, where I obtained my degree.
Rebecca, who is passionate about women's rights and education, now runs a non-governmental organization, Inclusive Society for Women and Girls Initiatives.
I will not give up. Even the community sometimes, even to seek advice or to hear your view or to bring you at the table like any other person to come and discuss so that you will say your mind also that you will bring your contribution that will bring the progress of the community. They will see, since you have disability, there is no need of bringing you along. There is no need of advice, seeking for your advice. So the challenges everywhere, even in the office, even in the bank, in the market, everywhere.
On the spirit of the 2023 International Women's Day, Rebecca's dream is to help women with disability to access quality education.
Because out of hundreds of people, women with disability, more especially here in the north, is very few that went to school. So for that my dream is to see how I touch their life, how to see I bring them out of their bondage, out of where they are, so that they will come and attend school, so that they will achieve like me.
For Rebecca and other persons with disability, they are not disabled. All they need is special attention to present their talent for societal development. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Now, the price of tomatoes has risen in Jos, the Plateau State capital, a few days after the presidential and National Assembly elections. Traders say the sudden development is not unconnected with the shortage of the product in the northern region, where most of the farming areas have exhausted their produce. Plateau State is a farming area where tomatoes are grown in large quantity. Ado Musa completes the story.
In the last 2 weeks, Trust TV reported how a basket of tomato was sold between 700 and 1,000 naira, a situation that many tomato farmers and dealers were crying about. Traders had said that the scarcity of cash in the hands of the buyers had contributed to the fall of the price of tomato in the market, but the price has risen to 3,000 naira per basket. The dealers explain why the sudden change in the price.
You know, this farming, this dry season farming, is almost everywhere in the northern part of the country. There is the tomato in Kano, Zaria, Katsina, Bauchi, and other places. So why it was cheap in those days is because that time almost everybody's tomato, every place tomato is available. But now many places like Zaria and Katsina, their tomato has finished. Now it's left only here and Kano. That's why the volume of the tomato supply in the market has reduced.
I think one of the reasons for the rise in price of tomato was because the presidential election had been conducted, and people from the southern part of the country are now coming to buy it. The farmers are happy with the development because they have spent a lot in the farm and need to recover their expenses. Asking if the price could continue to rise, the dealers have this to say.
Tomato will not fall down because it's a seasonal farming. A majority of the people are going to face the rainy season farming because of food. They will run away from this perishable because it can make them to lose a lot of money. So I don't think tomato will not come down again until after July.
It is our prayer that the price should shoot up so that farmers can gain something. But never can tell. Anything can happen. It can rise or come down depending on the market situation at a given time. The dealer's father maintained that from now to July this year, there is likelihood that the price of the product would continue to increase. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now for a look at the foreign scene, where former Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin is being questioned at the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission on Thursday over the alleged diversion of funds to his party. Muhyiddin went voluntarily for questioning in relation to allegations that building contractors deposited money into the accounts of his Bersatu party in exchange for contracts during the COVID-19 pandemic. The former Prime Minister would appear in court on Friday. Muhyiddin became Prime Minister in March 2020 after a week of political paralysis caused by an internal power struggle within the reformist coalition that came to power after historic elections in 2018 and he had been once part of. He lost the job in 2021 to more political maneuvering, and his coalition then lost a hard-fought election to Anwar in November. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.